Hi, first grade friends. It's Mrs. Chung. I wanted to get us started on a new drawing project that you can create on your own. I have included a slide stack, and the first slide is a short video about fun facts about seals. I thought maybe you'd like to see some real seals and learn some facts about them. But our project is going to be focusing on how to draw or learn about shapes so that you can draw things using geometric shapes. I usually say that our geometric shapes are our math shapes, shapes we learn about in math class, or shapes that have a definite name. Mostly this time we're going to be using a triangle and a circle and maybe even a square. Those are shapes that probably by now first graders you know. I have created myself a triangle template to use. This is cut out of a little bit of cardstock, we call that, but it's a basic triangle. It's a little taller than it is wide. You can draw the triangle freehand. You could ask someone to help you out by creating a tracer of some sort. You could even have someone help you out by drawing 3 dots on the paper and then connect those lines to make this triangle shape. I'm going to put my tracer down. I'm going to hold it with one finger. I'm going to push my pencil along the edge. I can feel it with my pencil as I trace around that triangle shape. That helps me get started. I've left enough room at the bottom of my paper to put the stand that the seal will be on, and we're going to use some geometric shapes to create the rubber balls that seals play with often. If you've ever seen them sometimes in circuses or on television shows where they play with things like that. I have given you the handout in our slide stack separate if you wanted to just look at that next to you and figure out how you're going to draw your seal. On the handout it talks about folding the paper in half so that you know where to place your triangle. That's one choice to help you get your paper, we call that paper placement, where to get your seal placement or your triangle placement on your paper. If that makes it easier for you, you could start off with step 1, folding your paper in half, and then lining up that triangle to be right underneath that fold so that you know where to put your triangle to get your seal started. So you can start that way with folding the paper. You don't have to start that way. Sometimes they give you advice that it's not essential that it gets followed. After you see that part, you see that you're going to draw the whiskers for the nose by adding some little curved lines up there on top. You're going to see that it talks about adding an eye and a mouth. That's on one side, a semicircle or part of a circle for the eye, and then the seal's curved line for his mouth. I always like to give him a smile. And then we also add some semicircles for his flippers. So there's one semicircle, and then down here we're going to add the other one. Isn't that the most fun? How cute is that seal? Here comes another triangle out of the other side of it so that he now has his tail, and you can add that little, you know how they have flippers at the end of their tail. There we go. Next, it's going to ask you to draw a rectangle under the seal so that he has something that he is sitting on. He has a base that gives him some place to be. And then it talks about adding some circles so that it looks like he's balancing balls on top. I have this small cup that I could use to help trace circles. You might find it's easy to use maybe the cap from something like a milk container. You might find that a quarter or a nickel or other coins might work for you. I'm just going to trace 3 times this circle cup that I have so that it looks like the seal is balancing those on his nose. So there's my seal and the 3 balls balancing on top. Next, we're going to add some detail. Detail is when things are interesting. It makes it a little bit of personal choice. I'm going to put a zigzag or mountain line. Look at these giant mountain lines that are going along the base. I'm going to add some stripes so that the circles look more like a round rubber ball. Remember, I'm making those lines contour so they look round. I think I showed you last year about Santa's belly and how his belt can make him look like he has a big round belly. So by curving those lines, it makes it look like they're on the ball and the ball is round. And the last one I think is super tricky. I don't know if my first graders know how to draw a star on top of that ball. I think it's easier to use a letter V, and then I always see the arms both cross, and then we connect that. And that's kind of a way to draw a star. If you have a different way of doing it, go right ahead. Finally, we put the circus ring that goes behind him. So I stop the line, pick up my pencil, I put it back down, and I continue the line on the other side of the seal. Now it looks like he's in front of the circle. I'll draw it so that that little, that circle, that ring has some height to it. So it looks like now that seal is balanced on that base with balls on top of his nose inside of the circus ring. All right? I'm going to stop the video for now, and I'm going to come back and show you a little technique for coloring.